everyone, it's Robbie from Southern California, and today I'm going to show you how I make my own little solar panel holders. They're really simple to make. Most of you will have all these containers around and you'll be able to do it so easily, and they're a lot of fun. And we'll go into the garden. I'll show you what I was doing and how I was doing it, and we'll get into more details on how to put together a solar panel holder where you could just stick it anywhere you want. So let's go in the garden. I was making the panel holders just anyway. I would have them like that, just sitting on a piece of wood. I made these foam things that I had. That was an experiment. Didn't really care for that because it would sit there and then fall off somewhere. Probably that's how that one ended up there. And I had different ways and methods I tried. I'm still working on it, but I actually found some I really like. This was one of my favorite. These are cottage cheese yogurt containers, sour cream containers. They're food containers. And these have turned out to be the best to hold solar panels. Now, the reason I like it is it's waterproof. So once you have it made and set up, and it's basically free if you use any of that, but if you have to, you could buy a container, at your dollar store or something, but I bet you've got something like that. All you have to do is make the 2 holes on the bottom. Or if you want to make it differently, you could do it differently. What I do, and I will show you, is I make 2 holes on the bottom of the, let's say, cottage cheese container. And then I can insert these stakes. Now, these are the tomato stakes, and I like these because they have ridges. So you would put that inside the hole on the bottom. And with the lid, you're going to make a hole on the top of the lid big enough to hold your solar panels. So see, your panel's got a square. You're going to make a hole there. You can paint it or not paint it, up to you. And that holds it. What's really cool is this holds the wire and everything. And then the excess wire goes, that one is going down and around and over to that pond over there, I should say water fountain over there. So you're hiding your excess cord that you don't want inside the container if you want to do it that way. Now we can walk through the garden over here real quick. I'll show you. See the foam ones I was using, they bend and stuff. I had the foam, so I tried it. I wouldn't recommend it. I was using the dishwasher trays and inserts because Gary was always finding dishwashers, and it's fine, but you do have to tape it and stop the stake from falling. And a lot of times like that, when it falls through, and then like what just happened, I don't even know where the solar panel is. Let's see. It fell. Oh, there it is. Oh, look at this. Dazzling blue kale, I think, right? But see, I've got to fix this. But of course now my fountain's working because I picked it up. So it will work. You can always modify it. The other thing I tried are these soup containers you get, or food containers. This one is okay. It worked, same method. I cut the container in half, slipped one part into the other, made a hole on the top, and this holds it. This is good, but this is too small really. So you can see it wants to fall. It's a little small, but it does work. Now, if you use milk, your half-gallon milk containers are much better. Same method, split it in half. Now, you can leave it the full length, but then it's going to be all the way to here. You can split it in half, slip one into the other. This already had a hole here for the wire, and then I made another hole underneath for the stake. And you make the hole where it comes up on the edge. So you're only going to cut a piece for this solar panel itself so the stake doesn't go all the way through. Remember, you don't want the stake to go all the way through. It will work. Again, those are waterproof. That's what you have to think of is when you're going to make a solar panel holder, the container has to be waterproof. This way it withstands the rain and the weather outside and watering your garden, and they work. That's been up there Oh, for a long time. Months and months and months. Probably 6 months. And then here's another one I made, which works really, really well. See, there's on a double pole. So that's up there. So it's whatever way you want to make it. But boy, I'm telling you, I think the cottage cheese containers are the best. Hint, in case you decide to do it. I had one cottage cheese container that was cracked. And I thought, well, I'll use it. It's cracked. Once they're cracked, don't make it. You don't want to start bothering with it because once they're out in the sun and they're already cracked, it continues to crack, and so you don't want to do that. I put a little tape to hold it, masking tape. It's working, but if the container is cracked, don't bother with it. The ones that were in good condition have been out here for, like I said, over 6 months and going strong, and they don't cost you anything. There's another one back there. They don't cost you anything. If you want to paint them, as you can see, if you paint them dark green or brown, Gary's favorite color is forest green. He said when he paints things and he puts it in the yard, they disappear, he always says, because brown and dark green disappear. So see how you don't even see it? You can paint them fancy and get them brightly colored if you want to see it. That's perfectly fine. It's whatever way you want to do it. You don't want to paint them, don't paint them. But I just hit this with cheap paint. Got this at Home Depot, the paint. I buy the tester paint. I go over to see what they have reduced, and they reduce them to 50 cents. People make them, they don't like the colors, they take it back, and they sell them for around 50 cents. And it works beautiful, and it lasts. It's outdoor house paint normally. So it's been the greatest thing. I use that for everything. But you know, you could see if they've got any. If not, just get any paint you want. Paint it the color you want. Just remember, if you're putting it in the garden, a dark brown or a dark green will disappear. If you want to make it where you can see it, that's fine too. There's another one way up there on a double stake. See that up there? That's been up there for over 6 months. That's a little tall. I'm not going to make them that tall anymore generally because sometimes they get dusty, and what I need to do a lot of times is just walk over. You know, birds sit on there and poop and stuff. You want to be able to reach over and wipe your hand. You can make it taller than this, but if you make it too tall, like that one needs some dusting probably, then who's going to climb up that? And you can see that one I kind of camouflaged it. Let's see if we can zoom in. So that one I painted dark brown, and I spotted it with gray, probably because I had the gray paint. And it does kind of disappear if you want it up in the sky. Go dark blue, go blue, whatever. But that's on a double stake, really tall. And again, keep in mind with solar panels, you know, if they get dirty, birds sit on them, you do want to wipe them down, and you do have to reach up there or take it down, and I undo it, and I lie it sideways and wipe it down and put it back. That's why I think this is the perfect level. This is the perfect height, and that's all you need. You can, when you put your stake inside, and you can use sticks, anything you want, but I use it, like I said, the tomato stakes. I got them really cheap at the dollar store. The thing is, you're going to want to either use bread ties, wire, or zip ties, and I happen to like using zip ties. If you have a problem holding it and putting it on, then go ahead, when you do it, use a little bit of masking tape as your third hand. The masking tape will give it support so you can pull those zip ties tight and get it in position the way you want, and then leave the masking tape. It's not going to hurt anything, and then you just roll your cord up inside. But that's how easy it is. This is free. The only thing you're going to need is a stake, something to put that in, and I use the tomato stakes. You can, if you've got bamboo sticks or something around, you can use that. That's perfectly fine, whatever you want to use. But kind of think about the height, and the only other thing you need to do is position it where it gets the sun. You could use bread ties or you could use zip ties. Just don't bring it past the top. You can make one hole on the bottom as long as, see, this will hold good now, as long as you can snap this on and bring, let's do it this way, both wires through. That's the whole idea, is both wires can go through. So if the pole can go through, and the wire can go through. You could do one hole, and that's it. It's snapped on. Now you put your pump back together. And you roll up your wire. And put it inside through the hole. Or you could do it through the top. And then you just put in all your excess wire. You could stabilize this by putting a little bit of masking tape once you have the wire in the position you want. That's how easy it is. Now you go stick this anywhere you want, facing the sun, in your garden. And if your garden is big like this, I have them positioned differently. Some of them are positioned where they get the morning sun and then they turn off as the sun goes down. And some of them are positioned where they get the sun all day, like this one. And so that one runs all day. And some are positioned differently where they get the late evening sun. So it's just, you know, wherever you're going to stick it in. And you can stick them in flower pots. I mean, that's how easy they are. Just find a nice flower pot, stick them in flower pots, stick them straight into the ground. You can stick them anywhere you want. And that's it. So that's how I make my stands. They work out so good. The paint probably does protect the plastic a little bit, so I would suggest to hit them with paint. And then that's it. And you've got it to go, and you can roll up the wire you're not using, and you can stick them anywhere you want. And being that way, like I've got the water fountain up there, I can bring it all the way here or bring it anywhere I want. So it works out really good. So I hope I've given you an idea. Keep in mind, cottage cheese, yogurt containers, any of the food containers that are plastic, those are the small ones. You can use bigger ones. And then you can use any of the cardboard ones also. Like I said, the one way down there I showed you is a soup container. Little small, I would go with something bigger, but you can still do it if you've got it. Those work as long as they're waterproof. Then they'll last in your garden at least probably for a year. And so maybe the cardboard ones, you may have to change it out within the year. I'm not sure. I haven't had to change any of them. The plastic ones, they may not last forever, but if it doesn't cost you anything, you may come up with a different idea. So with that, have a wonderful day. And don't forget to eat what you grow. Bye-bye, everybody.